If you're running Google Ads for your HVAC company and they haven't been profitable lately, or if the cost of phone calls or leads has become too high, then this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to share with you some of the strategies that you can implement that can increase your chance of reducing the cost per phone call or lead by improving your conversion rate. With that, you can also increase your profitability overall. So let's get started. So guys, we're in our Google Ads dashboard, and if you're an HVAC company and running Google Ads for a while, and if you think the Google Ads is getting more and more expensive and your cost per phone call or cost per lead is increasing, in this video I'm going to share with you some of the ways and some of the strategies I would use to reduce my cost per phone call or cost per lead. So this is one of my example accounts, and this is also a local service business account. And if you don't know me, I help local service businesses to generate phone calls or leads using Google Ads. So I mainly help local service businesses. And let's see one of our example account. So this is one of our example account. This is a local service business, and their main goal is to generate phone calls and form submissions from Google Ads. And there can be three ways of generating phone calls. They can generate phone calls directly from the ads. They can generate phone calls from the website, and they can get form submissions. And as you can see in this time frame, I think it is around 2-month data. Let's say a little less than 2 months. And as you can see, the red line is cost per conversion. The cost per conversion was really high. As you can see, sometimes it was around $800. Here it was, let's say, $225,000. And after that, over time, the number got lower and lower. As you can see, the number is getting lower and lower. In this time range is an all-time low, as you can see from here. And the number of conversions were low here as well. And the number of conversions are getting higher and higher, as you can see. So week is not finished. Maybe that's why it is showing a little downward trend. Maybe after the week finishes, it can go higher. So these are the results. As you can see, the cost per conversion, the cost of each lead we're getting, or the cost of conversion we're getting, is getting lower, and the number of conversions are getting higher. And I would share some of the ways what I would do to lower the cost per phone call or cost per lead, and you can do the same. So let's get started. So the first thing is you should start by reviewing your conversion tracking setup. So as I told, there can be three types of conversions: phone calls coming directly from the ads, phone calls coming from the website, and form submissions. You should go through them and make sure that they're working properly. And if they're working properly, then you can start running ads. Otherwise, you don't know whether the ads are working or not, whether the numbers in the conversion section are correct or not. So you can go to goals, and under conversions, you can go to summary, and we're going to scroll down. These are form submissions, and we have different locations. So as you can see, we have conversion actions for different locations. With this business, we're targeting different locations, and they might have different landing pages or even different websites. So that's why we're using different conversion actions. So this is a form submission section, and we have a call tracking directly coming from ads. This is for call extensions. And if you're going to scroll down, these conversion actions can track phone calls coming from the website. So you need to make sure that they're working, and after that, you can start analyzing your campaigns. A quick reminder, if you want to know how I got 2x more phone calls using 2 key strategies in Google Ads, click the link in the description below and I'll send you the video of how I did that for free. And the next thing is, and this could be one of the most important things, your bid strategy might be the problem. So if your bid strategy is the problem, you might be using, let's say, maximize conversions or target CPA or manual CPC or maximize clicks. So you could be using one of these, and most probably maximize conversions could be bringing you very high cost per click. And that's what happened with one of my example accounts. And I've switched from maximize conversions to manual CPC. You're going to scroll down, and if you're going to click on the settings section, and as you can see, we're using manual CPC, and before it was using maximize conversions. And with maximize conversions, the cost per click limits were getting really high. Let's say he was getting sometimes more than $30, $40, or even more than $80, the cost per click, which was getting really high. And that can obviously drive up the cost per phone call or cost per lead. Even if you have very high conversion rate, if you have very high cost per click, it can increase your costs. So that's why you need to make sure that you're bidding lower or you are not bidding too high. And with that way, you can control your costs. So your bid strategy might be the problem. Or maybe you're using manual CPC and the manual CPC is not working. And maybe you should use maximize conversions. In the past, that also happened to me as well. I tried to use manual CPC type of bid strategy, and it did not bring good results. And then I switched to maximize conversions. The maximize conversions starts to bring consistent number of conversions. So make sure that if you're using maximize conversions and the maximize conversions might be bringing very high cost per click, you can try using manual CPC or maximize clicks, but I would suggest to use manual CPC and you can see the performance. If it is performing better, you can start using manual CPC. Or again, if you're using manual CPC, if it is not performing that well, you can consider using other bid strategies such as maximize conversions or other bid strategies. And the next thing in our list, you should optimize your landing page to boost your conversion rate. So landing page is also one of the most important things. And for my clients, I create landing pages for free just to make my job a lot easier because it can be one of the most important things that can increase your conversion rate. I'm gonna give you a very basic example of a landing page, but it can be improved a lot better. But with that example, I'm gonna show you how clean the landing page can be. So this is a very basic example of a landing page, and that's very clean. It has a main headline and description and call to action. That's it. So with some of the accounts, if I audit them, they can have lots of distractions and they can have lots of unnecessary links or buttons that might not be relevant for the user. So you need to have the cleanest version of the landing page just to provide better user experience. Again, this is a very basic version of the landing page. With my own clients, I try to create more sections with more trust factors to make them relevant to our target keywords. And you can even create different versions of the landing pages just to make them relevant to the target keywords you're using. So you can have several landing pages depending on the number of ad groups, depending on the type of keywords you're using. So landing pages are really important. So I would not suggest you to have lots of unnecessary buttons. For example, they can have headers with lots of links that can distract the user, and they can have lots of social icons that can drive users away from this landing page, or they can have chat widgets or other buttons that might not be relevant and distracts users from calling to the business. So that's how the simple version of the landing page can look like. And again, you can improve it a lot more. And the next thing on our list, you should analyze the campaign data for low quality keywords and ad groups. So you can go to the campaign section or you can go to the keyword section and analyze the keywords. So we're going to scroll to the right and these are the clicks, conversions, and you can see the cost per conversion and you can quickly go through these keywords. And maybe certain keywords are bringing conversions with a very high cost per conversion. And you can analyze those keywords. And if they're bringing that consistently, you can pause those keywords. Recently, I've paused certain keywords that might attract low quality clicks or they might be wasting more budget than other keywords. I've paused certain keywords, but in your case, you can analyze those keywords. You can see the cost per conversion data. And if they're generating that high cost per conversion with more number of conversions, that means the data is not random and it can also bring high cost per conversion in the future as well. That's why you should be careful about those keywords. If you're going to scroll down, there are certain keywords we should be careful. So this is bringing a little bit higher cost per conversion. So I will keep that in mind. But there were certain keywords which were bringing very high cost per conversion. So if you're going to scroll down, there is another one. So there are certain keywords which are attracting conversions with higher cost per conversion. And if I'm going to see the last 30 days and check if those clicks are really attracting higher cost per conversion, yes, these are overall a little bit higher than these keywords. And also they're generating most of the clicks. I can monitor them in the future and pause them if they still consistently generate higher cost per conversion. Because in this industry, still this cost per conversion is not very, very high. And other numbers are way better. That's why it looks like they're performing worse. But actually, they're still okay, but they're performing worse than these other keywords. So that's why I'm going to give them more chance and maybe I'm going to monitor them, let's say after about a month, after I'm going to generate some data. And if they still underperform like this, maybe I'm going to consider pausing those keywords. But there were certain keywords which were generating lots of clicks and their cost per conversion were really high, like 200 plus in this industry. And if I have those kind of keywords, I would consider pausing those kind of keywords. But in your case, you can also analyze the list of keywords and pause the keywords which are generating higher cost per conversion. And the next section is related to the previous section, which is after analyzing all of these keywords, you can pause these keywords and it can be related to ad groups as well. You can pause those ad groups. And if you have different campaigns related to different services, you can pause those campaigns. So firstly, you should analyze which one of them are getting most of the clicks. How many conversions are they getting? and what are their cost per conversion. Once you get those data, you can start from keywords. You can pause keywords, you can pause certain ad groups, you can pause certain campaigns. So to pause certain ad groups, you need to have that many ad groups because we have more ad groups. As you can see from here, I'm going to show you. We're going to scroll down. I have 25 ad groups in this campaign, and we can analyze them and pause certain ad groups if they're consistently underperforming. And you can do the same with a campaign. You can pause certain campaign and create different version of the campaign that can perform better than that campaign based on the data you have received in the past, based on certain number of keywords which were performing much better, or based on certain number of ad groups, you can create another campaign with those winning ad groups. So that's how you can improve the efficiency of your campaign, by pausing certain underperforming keywords, ad groups, and campaigns. And the next thing in our list, use negative keywords to cut wasted ad spend. So if your Google Ads is getting more and more expensive and you are paying more to Google to generate phone calls or leads, you can consider adding more negative keywords. You can go to search terms report and find irrelevant negative keywords coming up again and again. And if you can find those kind of keywords, that's actually an opportunity, which means in the future, you may not get those kind of negative keywords if you can block those kind of negative keywords and there are different variations from happening in the future. You can clean your search terms report and you can get more higher quality clicks in the future. And that can increase your conversion rate and you can reduce your cost per conversion. And another way would be you can go to the tools section and add more competitor names and add more negative keywords by going to the keyword planner and adding more negative keywords. But the best way would be if you are running the campaigns already, by working mostly on the search terms report and analyzing the impressions and clicks of the keywords and focus on improving the quality of those impressions and clicks. And that could be one of the best ways to improve the quality of your traffic. And you can find a lot of negative keywords or negative keyword ideas from there. And the last thing in our list, you should track and optimize your campaigns continuously to improve your overall performance. So Google Ads can provide you different opportunities at different times. As I've shown you, certain campaigns which have been running good for some time started underperforming. And I had to rethink a strategy to improve the performance again, because Google Ads is constantly changing and you need to adapt your strategy. So there can be different ways of optimizing your campaigns. You can work with your search terms report. You can go to the campaigns and analyze each individual keywords and start creating campaigns around those keywords, for example. Or maybe you can improve your landing pages, or you should focus more on the mobile devices. So you should keep optimizing your campaigns as frequently as possible. And with that way, if you start getting higher and higher quality traffic, you can improve your conversion rate, and overall it can help reduce your cost per phone call or cost per lead. So again, if you guys want to know how I doubled the number of phone calls with Google Ads using 2 effective strategies, you can click the link in the description below and I'll send that video of how I did that for free. Or if you guys want me to generate phone calls to your HVAC industry and work on your campaigns to bring more higher quality phone calls to your HVAC business, you can apply to work with me and we can see if we can work together. Otherwise, thank you guys for watching this video and see you guys in my other videos.